Hi children, today we are going to start second lesson in geography and the title of the lesson is The Natural Realms of the Earth. What is the meaning of realms? Realms means regions or areas, and there are four natural realms of the earth: lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere. Now we are going to learn about these four natural realms of the earth in brief and about lithosphere in detail in this lesson. Now what is lithosphere? Lithosphere is a word which is derived from Greek word lithos, which means rocks and mineral rocks or stones, and sphera means sphere or ball, and it consists of high mountains, plateaus, plains, deep valleys and very deep basins like oceans. And we, along with the other living beings, are living on this lithosphere. Lithosphere is the solid crust part of the earth. Already we have learnt about the three layers of the earth: the crust, mantle and core. And this lithosphere is the crust part of the earth. And we are using the rocks and soils and many other things found in this hard crust in many ways. Now the second one is hydrosphere. Hydrosphere is also derived from a Greek word hydro, which means water, and it consists of all the sources of water, various sources of water on the earth's surface like rivers, lakes, seas, oceans, ponds, etc. And some water is also found under the ground. Deep under the ground, some water is found which we call as groundwater. And this also is part of hydrosphere. So all these together they form the hydrosphere. That is rivers, lakes, seas, oceans, etc. and also the groundwater, together they form the hydrosphere. And the third one is atmosphere. Atmosphere, it is a word which is derived from the Greek word atmos. Atmos means vapor, and it consists of large number of gases. In different quantities, there are several gases in the atmosphere like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor, etc. And as already you know, nitrogen is 78% and oxygen is 21%. Like that, in different quantities, these gases are present in the atmosphere. And the next one is biosphere. Biosphere, it is also a word which is derived from the Greek word bios, and bios means life. That means living part of the earth is called biosphere. Among these three natural realms, that is lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, wherever life exists, that part of the earth's surface is called as biosphere. That is to say that the living part of the earth is called biosphere. Now, in this lesson, mainly we are going to learn about lithosphere in detail. Lithosphere is comprised of rocks, stones, mountains, plateaus and plains. Already I told you. Now, all these landforms, there are three types of landforms on the earth's surface. And these types of landforms are first order landforms, second order landforms and third order landforms. First order landforms are oceans and continents. And the second order landforms are the mountains, plains and plateaus. These are the second order landforms. And the third order landforms are the landforms which are formed due to the action of wind, water or glaciers. Those landforms are called third order landforms. Now, plate tectonics. What is meant by plate tectonics? Already we have learnt in our previous chapter that Alfred Wegener, a German scientist, geologist, he proposed a theory that all the oceans and continents which we are seeing today, all the continents together, they were like a super massive continent 200 million years ago. And this was called as Pangaea. And all those oceans together, they were called as Panthalassa. They were like a single super ocean and they were called as Panthalassa. Now, there are these oceans and continents. They are actually situated on massive base of rocks called plates. And there are about 7 major plates on the earth. And these 7 major plates are African plate, North American plate, South American plate, Indo-Australian plate, Antarctic plate, Eurasian plate, and Pacific plates. And there are some minor plates also, and among which the most important ones are Nazca plate and Arabian plate. So you can see in the map, Nazca plate, it is on the western side of South America and it is surrounding Chile and Peru. And Arabian plate, it is surrounding the Saudi Arabia. So what is special about these plates? These plates actually float on the mantle and they are constantly being pushed and therefore keep moving slowly. These plates, they actually float on the mantle and they push each other and therefore they keep on moving. Even now the plates are moving, but we don't feel the movement because the movement is very slow. And as a result of this movement, one plate pushes the other neighboring plate. Sometimes one plate goes above the other plate and sometimes one plate goes beneath the other plate. And when these two plates collide or meet or push each other, a lot of pressure is exerted by each of them. And then this movement of plates is called as plate tectonics. One plate goes above the other plate or one plate goes beneath the other plate. And this movement of plates is called as plate tectonics. Tectonics, it is a word which comes from Greek word again, and tecton, that is the Greek word, and it means carpenter or builder. Tectonics comes from a Greek word, tecton, which means carpenter or builder. Now, why are these plates being pushed and who pushes them? If you ask this question, then the answer is clear. It leads to sea floor spreading. What is this sea floor spreading? Geologists, they have studied the crust under the sea and they have discovered that under the Pacific Ocean there are many mid-oceanic ridges. Ridges means mountains. That means many volcanic mountains are present in the Pacific Ocean and these are formed by the lava coming out from the mantle. And the eruptions on the ridge create new ocean floor made of basalt rocks. That means the lava which comes out from these volcanic mountains during volcanic eruptions, it spreads on the ocean floor, cools down, solidifies and forms a new crust. And this is the newest crust on the Earth's surface. And gradually this newly formed crust is pulled away from the volcanic mountain, widening the ocean basin. And this leads to sea floor spreading. Sea floor spreading. Now, there are two types of movements, slow movements and sudden movements also. Slow movements means plate tectonics. The movement of plates is very slow, which we cannot notice. So that is slow movement. And sudden movements means volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. Both of these, they come under sudden movements. Now let us see the volcanic eruptions. Volcanoes, the molten material comes from the vent of the volcano and it spreads on the floor, surface, and then it gets solidifies, cools down, solidifies, and then it forms into igneous rocks. Very hard rocks called igneous rocks are formed by this lava. And this molten material comes out of the volcanic mountains through a vent. Vent means opening. Opening of the volcano is called vent. And through this vent, all these steam, smoke, various forms of gases, all these come together and this molten material, which is called as magma, it comes out to the earth's surface and it spreads on the earth's surface, cools down and forms into very hard rocks called igneous rocks. And these formation of landforms are two types. Some of the lava gets solidified inside the earth's surface itself. Without coming to the earth's surface, inside the earth's surface itself, the lava cools down and solidifies and forms into landforms, and these are called intrusive landforms. And some of the lava, it comes to the earth's surface and then cools down and forms into rocks, and which are called as extrusive landforms. So two types of landforms are found during volcanic eruptions: intrusive landforms and extrusive landforms. Intrusive landforms is when lava gets solidified inside the earth's surface itself without coming to the earth's surface. That is called as intrusive landforms. And if the lava comes out to the earth's surface and cools down and solidifies and forms into landforms, it is called as extrusive landforms. Now, let us see some of the important volcanic mountains on the earth's surface. Stromboli, it is also known as the lighthouse of the Mediterranean Sea. Stromboli, it is located in Sicily. Mount Pili is in West Indies. Mount Vesuvius is in Italy. Fujiyama, it is in Japan. Cotopaxi, it is in Ecuador. And Mayon, it is in Philippines. And Barron and Narcondam, they are located in India. Barron, it is the only active volcano in India, and Narcondam, it is the only extinct volcano in India. Kilimanjaro, it is in Tanzania, Africa. Now, there are plate boundaries around the Pacific Ocean. Now you can see in the picture, you see the Pacific Ring of Fire. What is this Pacific Ring of Fire? Around the Pacific Ocean, there are plate boundaries, and these plate boundaries, they are the volcanic prone regions and earthquake prone regions. That means most of the volcanoes, more than 500 volcanoes are present at these plate boundaries. That is why this region is called as the Pacific Ring of Fire. Now, what are the external processes through which the third order landforms are formed? Now, let us see what are these external processes. How air and water transform the surface of the earth. That means due to the action of air and water, how the surface of the earth is transformed, how different landforms are formed. That we are going to discuss now. Now, first one is weathering. There are 4 processes through which air and water transform the surface of the earth. First one is weathering, second one is erosion, third one is transportation, and the fourth one is deposition. Now let us see what is this weathering. The gradual disintegration of rocks by atmospheric forces or weather forces like wind, water, etc. is called as weathering. And as you know, the rocks are exposed to sun's heat during daytime. And when they are exposed to sun's heat, they expand. And when they cool down again, they contract. During night time, they cool down and they contract. And this is a continuous process. During daytime, the rocks are exposed to the sun's heat and they expand. And during night time, they cool down and they contract. And this happens every day during day and night. And throughout the year also, and year after year also, the same process is continued. During summer and winter seasons also, it is continued. And when these rocks contract and expand and again contract, the upper layer of the rock, the upper part of the rock becomes more and more brittle. Brittle means easily breakable. When it is first exposed to sun's heat, it expands, and again when it cools down during night time, it contracts. And again the next day it is exposed to sun's heat, and that means it expands, contracts and expands again. And this is a continuous process. And because of this continuous process, the upper layer of the rocks become more and more brittle. Brittle means easily breakable. And this process is called as weathering. And water and moisture in the air also help in this process. In this process of weathering, water and moisture in the air also help. Water reacts with the chemicals of the rocks and further weakens the rock. And these processes by which the rocks are weakened and broken are called as weathering. Now, second process is erosion. Erosion means carrying away the upper layer of the soil or rocks, small pieces of rocks, by flowing water and wind is called as erosion. Flowing water and wind, they have great force. They have great force and they can slowly carry away or cut away the rocks and soil cover in higher places. And they carry away, as long as they have great speed, they carry away these materials with them. Water acts in many ways as rain, river, flowing ground water, sea waves, glaciers, etc. That means water can act as an erosional element through rainwater, river water, flowing groundwater and sea waves also. They carry out this erosion process. Wind too takes many forms like storms, gusts, steady winds. All these winds, they carry away the upper layer of the soil. The active wearing away of the earth's surface by these moving agents is called as erosion. Now, transportation. The eroded material in the form of small rocks, gravel or mud or soil which is carried away by these agents like wind and water is called as transportation. That means it is carried away from one place to another place. In whichever direction the wind is blowing or the water is flowing, they carry away this eroded material along with them. And this is called as transportation. Sometimes they carry away this eroded material to hundreds of kilometers. Now, deposition. Deposition means when the speed of the river decreases or the speed of the wind decreases, they do not have the force to carry the eroded material anymore. They cannot carry this soil or particles of rock along with them if their speed decreases. And they dump this, wherever their speed decreases, they dump this material there. That means they deposit it there. And it forms into a plains or it forms into some other landforms. So that is called as deposition. And much of it is actually transported by rivers to the sea. These eroded materials, actually when rivers carry this eroded material, because all the rivers finally join the sea, they carry this eroded material to the sea. And in the sea, on the sea floor, layer after layer, these deposits get accumulated at the bottom of the sea. On the sea floor, these eroded materials, they get accumulated, and over time, after many years, they get transformed into sedimentary rocks. These accumulations only, they get transformed into sedimentary rocks. Now, I am going to give you homework in this part of the lesson. Read part of the lesson completed today, underlining the important points with pencil. Note down the key points in your running notes. 200 pages, white book to be maintained. From front, Social 1, Geography and Economics, and from back, Social 2, History and Civics. Read and write 1 mark and 2 mark questions from your material. Question numbers 1, 28, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. For homework, any book, even a diary, also can be maintained.